The stars over the Harkin station were quiet. Too quiet. Commander Rhea Morgan sipped her cold coffee and stared at the black void outside the massive viewing window. The station was far from any core worlds, just a small listening post, orbiting. A dead moon? Most days were boring. Nothing ever happened out here until tonight. A sharp beep echoed through the room. The lights dimmed for half a second, just enough to make Rhea sit upright in her chair. "Lieutenant Hale," she said, not taking her eyes off the console. "Did we just get hit with a solar flare?" "No flare, ma'am," the young officer replied, frowning at his screen. "Power levels are normal, but we just picked up a transmission." Rhea turned to him slowly. "From where?" Hale looked pale. "From Sector Z51. The room went silent. No one mentioned that place anymore. It was the sector where Earth's main fleet, over 300 ships, had vanished a year ago during a deep space mission. No wreckage. No escape pods. No signal. Just gone. After months of searching, the Galactic Council declared the fleet lost. Dead. Another mystery in the cold darkness of space. But now, the signal had come. Rhea rushed to Hale's console. "Play it." He hesitated. "Commander, you might not want to hear this." "Play it," she repeated. A wave of static blasted from the speakers, loud and sharp. Then a voice, broken, full of pain, cut through the noise. "They took us. It's not over. Don't come." Screaming. Always screaming. The voice faded into more static. The entire room froze. The voice was human. Rhea's blood ran cold. "Run a trace. Confirm the origin." Hands flew over the keys. Confirmed. This came from Z51. Exact coordinates logged. Rhea stared at the dark window again. Her heart pounded. "Give me Admiral Torin. Now." Across the galaxy, at Earth Command HQ, Admiral Torin listened to the audio with clenched fists. The voice was full of Ugandan fear, but it wasn't just that. The voice belonged to Captain Elias Grant. He had commanded the missing fleet. "He's dead," Torin whispered. "I saw the death reports myself." His voice was calling from the dead. 5 hours later, deep space. Council Emergency Meeting. 12 species sat around the cold metal table. Some had fur, others had scales. One had no mouth at all, but all of them were afraid. "What does this mean?" asked Ambassador Zell from the Seric Dominion. "Is this human trickery?" "No trick," Admiral Torin replied. "That voice is real, and you all know it." Counselor Harvick of the Grell Empire leaned forward. "We sent drones after your fleet disappeared. They never returned." "With ours," said the Yeren delegate. "Ships vanish near that sector. Something is there. But what?" someone whispered. Silence. Then Admiral Torin stood. "We're sending a scout team. Small, fast, in and out. We need to know what happened to our people. No ship has returned," Zell growled. Torin's eyes burned with cold fire. "Then we'll send one that doesn't plan on dying." Next day, aboard the UHS Nightfall, Captain Myra Voss checked her weapons as the dropship loaded supplies. The Nightfall was a stealth ship, one of Earth's most advanced, built for speed, silence, and survival. She was the best. Her crew, ex-intelligence, ghost operatives, scientists who were once labeled too paranoid. Now, they were going into the darkest part of known space. As they entered Z51, Myra recorded a short message. "This is Captain Myra Voss of the Nightfall. Entering forbidden space. Mission, search and rescue. Human fleet presumed destroyed. One transmission received. Will investigate. Will not break." The stars grew cold outside the window. One crew member muttered, "Do you feel that? Like something's watching?" Myra didn't answer, but she felt it too. Deeper into Sector Z51 at first. Nothing, just black. But after 11 hours of silence, the ship's AI blinked red. Unknown object detected. Myra stared at the monitor. Thousands of shapes appeared ahead. At first, they looked like asteroids, until the scanner lit up. "No. Those are ships," whispered a tech. It was Earth's missing fleet, but they weren't moving. Worse, they weren't dead either. Each ship floated in perfect position. Lights off. Power cold. Like a massive graveyard arranged in a pattern. "Get us closer," Myra ordered. They drifted toward the nearest ship, the UHS Valor. Myra activated her suit. "Prepare a boarding team."
As the shuttle moved toward
The airlock. The crew stayed quiet. Then the comms crackled. Don't come." The same voice it echoed again, louder this time, crying, begging. "Always here. Watching, it never ends." Myra's pilot grabbed his head. "It's inside my skull. I can hear it in my bones." The lights flickered. One crew member collapsed, shaking. "We need to leave," someone yelled. But Mira stared at the drifting ship in front of her. Her fingers tightened around her weapon. "No. We find the source. We find the truth." Aboard the Valor, the air inside was stale, dark, cold. The corridors were empty. No bodies, no signs of struggle. But there were deep scratches along the walls. Symbols burned into metal. Things no one recognized. "Captain," said her engineer, "the power core is fine, but something's draining it. Constantly. Where's the crew?" "I don't know. They were here not long ago." Suddenly, a scream echoed through the hallway. The voice came from everywhere and nowhere. "Help me." The crew looked around, weapons ready, but there was nothing, until the shadows moved. Mira pointed her rifle down the corridor. Nothing. Then turned. One of her soldiers was gone. Just gone. No blood. No sound. 1 second he was there, the next dash emptiness. The crew backed up. "We're leaving," Mira said. Now, as they ran back to the airlock, the lights flickered again. This time, something stood at the far end of the hall. It looked human, but its eyes were wrong. Too black, too wide, and its mouth, smiling. Back on the Nightfall, the moment the boarding team returned, Mira gave the order. "We're leaving. Full speed." "Did you find survivors?" asked the comms officer. Mira stared out the window as the ghost fleet grew smaller behind them. "No," she said softly. "We found something else." "What?" She didn't answer, because behind them, in the shadows of space, something moved, something followed. Final scene, a new signal back at Harkin Station. The signal system beeped again. Another transmission. This time, the voice was clearer, but it wasn't human anymore. "We see you." And then the screaming began. The Galactic Council called an emergency meeting in a massive chamber floating above the planet Aureolus Prime. Alien leaders from over 50 species sat around a glowing round table. Holograms flickered in the air screens, showing the broken human transmission again and again. "They took us. It's not over. Don't come." The voice was human, damaged, full of static and pain. The last word always ended in a strange echo, like something was behind the voice. Copying it, whispers spread across the chamber. "This can't be. The humans are dead, gone for over a year. That region is cursed." But one voice was louder than the rest. High Chancellor Virik of the Thon Dominion stood up, his red eyes glowing. "This signal came from the Void Sector," he said, pointing to a map on the wall. "The very place Earth's fleet disappeared during their last mission. Now," he added, "we hear screams." Back on Earth, the signal hit hard. Inside the secret military base Black Spire, hidden deep under Antarctica's ice, alarms blared. Generals rushed to the control room. The lead officer, General Mendez, stood frozen as the transmission replayed. His voice cracked. "It's Admiral Rains." That's his voice. "But sir," said a young tech officer. "Admiral Rains was declared KI killed in action a whole year ago. All 13,000 crew members gone without a trace." General Mendez stepped closer to the screen. "Play it again." The broken voice returned. Static, then words. They took us. It's not over. Don't come. Mendez looked at his team. Give me everything we have on the Acheron expedition. Every log, every black box, every unfiltered sensor read. He already knew one thing. Earth's fleet didn't just vanish. Something took them. High above Earth. In the orbiting space station Vigilant Hope, Captain Alice Monroe read the report on her screen. Her heart raced. She had lost friends on the Acheron fleet, people she had trained with, people she had mourned. She tapped her communicator Monroe to Central Command, requesting permission for deep sector recon. If this voice is real, I want to go after it. There was a pause. Then a cold, tired voice answered, denied. That sector is off limits. It's a black zone. Monroe clenched her jaw. Respectfully, sir. We need to know the truth. If someone's alive, the voice cut her off. That's an order, Captain. Do not go near the void sector. But Monroe wasn't the only one who disobeyed. 3 days later, stealth ship called the Spectre left Earth under cover of silence. Its crew was small, just 5 hand-picked specialists. Captain Monroe, Lieutenant Jace, recon pilot Dr. Alira, Voss, xenolinguist Chief Rook, weapons expert tech officer Dalen, signal analyst. They flew in complete silence, past the warning beacons, past the black zone border. All systems cold. No lights, no transmissions. They were headed for the last known location of Earth's missing fleet. Inside the ship, tension grew. Dalen stared at his console. I'm still picking up the signal. It's repeating on a loop. But the waveform is strange. How strange? Monroe asked. It's like someone's copying it, repeating the words, but not in the same voice. It's off. Learning how to speak like us? Dr. Voss looked up sharply. Are you saying the signal is mimicking human speech? Dalen nodded slowly. Exactly that. Monroe's voice was calm but firm. Keep analyzing. Let me know if it changes. Ours. Later, the Spectre entered Void Sector -13. It was dark. Space here didn't just look empty, it felt dead. Stars were... The ship, Lucidity, floated slowly through the dead sector, where the human fleet had vanished. All lights inside the ship were dimmed. Commander Aria Voss stood at the bridge, eyes fixed on the large front screen. She didn't blink often. Since the transmission? Not since that voice had whispered from the void? Life signs? She asked calmly, though her fingers gripped the rail tightly. Lieutenant Drew Miles checked his console again. None. Nothing in this system. Just debris. A lot of it. On the screen, the blackness of space stretched like a shadow across the stars. Giant chunks of broken metal drifted aimlessly, silent corpses of what were once proud ships. Symbols on the hulls were Earth's, but something was wrong. These ships weren't destroyed by weapons fire, said Dr. Lena Royce, the mission's science officer. No energy signatures, no burns, just collapse. Like the ships folded in on themselves. Folded. Arya echoed. Lena nodded. It's like something reached inside and crushed them. There was silence on the bridge. No one spoke. Even the low hum of the ship's systems seemed quieter. Then a soft beep. Commander, Drew said slowly. We have movement. Everyone turned. Drew adjusted the screen. A small object was floating near one of the shattered human ships. It looked like a person drifting, turning slowly, arms out like they were reaching for something. Is that a survivor? Arya whispered. Lena frowned. Impossible. No suit, no life support. They'd be frozen. Zoom in, Arya ordered. The camera focused. The figure was indeed human, or once had been. The face was pale, stretched unnaturally. Its eyes were wide open, frozen in terror. The mouth. It was still moving. Whispering, everyone leaned closer. Suddenly a voice crackled over their comes. Help, please. It's here. It hears the same voice from the original transmission. It's the same broken tone. It's the same desperate fear. But it was coming from the drifting body. Lena stepped back. That's impossible. That person is dead. And the voice repeated. Help, please. It's here. It hears. And then again. Help, please. over and over the same sentence, as if it were a recording. But not electronic, organic, coming from the vocal cords of something long dead. Drew looked at Arya, his face pale. "Commander, I don't think we should be here. We're not leaving yet," she replied. Her voice was calm, but her knuckles were white. Then the lights on the ship flickered. 1 second. 2. And then darkness. Total silence. Emergency red lights blinked on. Alarms were silent, no sirens. No buzz. It's just the soft red glow and the hum of backup power kicking in. Arya's voice was sharp. "Status." Drew checked his screen. "Main power's out. No warning. Navigation down. Weapons offline. Communications?" she asked. Lena tried to reach Mission Command. "Nothing. It's like we're sealed off." And then a low sound came through the speakers. Not static. Not interference. A growl. It was deep, slow, and full of hate. Everyone on the bridge froze. The sound grew louder, then stopped. Drew whispered, "What was that?" Arya didn't answer. She was staring at the screen. At the drifting corpse, it had moved. Its head was now facing directly toward. The lucidity. Its mouth was no longer whispering the same phrase. Now it spoke clearly. "I see you." Everyone stepped back, then the body twitched. Once, twice, and began to move, not float move, toward them, fast. "Thrusters," Arya shouted. "Dead," Drew cried. "Manual backup only." Arya didn't wait. "Engage backup. Pull us back." Now the ship groaned as manual systems kicked in. Lucidity slowly reversed, thrusters burning only half power, but the body kept coming. Faster now? Too fast for something without power? Or propulsion? It hit the hull hard. The impact echoed through the ship. On the screen, it disappeared from view. Then the sound returned. A deep voice not human spoke inside. "They're mines. You should not have come." Everyone dropped to their knees. Pain stabbed through their heads like knives. The voice was not sound, it was something else, something ancient. It pressed into their thoughts like a weight. Then it was gone. Silence again. The lights flickered. Back on, systems began to recover. Power returned, but communications remained dead. "Commander?" Lena whispered, "This thing. It's still here." Arya stood up slowly. Her vision was blurry, her ears ringing. But her voice was clear. "Whatever it is, it killed the fleet. And now it knows we're here."
"We should leave, Drew."
"Said we can't," Arya replied. "We came to find the truth." "And we found it," Lena said softly. "Or, it found us." Arya stared at the screen again. The debris field stretched endlessly. Somewhere out there, the thing that destroyed Earth's best ships still waited. Or maybe it was already inside. She turned to the crew. "Check all decks. Lock down engineering. Full scans." The hunt had begun, and something was hunting back. The ship, Nightwind, moved slowly through. Sector Eco 7, the space around it looked strange, like it wasn't space anymore. Thick clouds floated in the dark. Yet there was no sound, no light. It was as if the stars themselves had vanished. Commander Rel watched the screen with tense eyes. The fog around them was not natural. It moved like something alive, always shifting, always watching. "Do we have any visuals?" he asked. Lieutenant Mara shook her head. "Only static. No ships, no signals. Just noise." The strange whispers had returned. Everyone could hear them now. Not just through the coms, but inside their heads. Soft, broken voices that didn't belong to anyone on the ship. "We are still here. They see you." "Turn back." Rel clenched his fists. "Ignore it. It's a trick. Some kind of alien tech." But deep down, he wasn't sure. Messages felt too real. "Too human, sir," Mara said. "We're getting another transmission." Rel stood up. "Put it on." The voice that came through wasn't broken this time. It was clear. Terrifying. It was Captain Voss. But Voss was dead. His ship had vanished with the fleet a year ago. This is Captain Voss of the UHS Endurance. If you hear this, do not follow. They don't kill you, they take your mind, your soul. You forget who you are. You become part of them. The crew fell silent. Is this a recording? Someone asked. Mara shook her head again, eyes wide. No, it's live. The signal's coming from 50 kilometers ahead. Rel stared at the fog. That's impossible, he said. Inside the fog, the ship moved closer. Lights flickered. The walls of the night wind groaned as if under pressure. Pressure levels rising. The engineer called. We're not even in atmosphere. Suddenly, they saw a shape in the fog. A massive ship floated ahead, dark and silent. It was covered in strange growths, like black vines or metal tumors. Parts of it looked familiar. It was the Endurance. Rel's heart stopped. That's Voss's ship. The crew stared at the screen. Lights flickered on inside the dead ship. Movement. Life signs. Rel asked. Mara's hands trembled over the controls. Yes, but they're wrong. No heartbeats. No rhythm. Just movement. Suddenly, the voices grew louder. Come to us. We miss you. Join the song. Rel felt dizzy. His ears rang. He grabbed the console to stay standing. Shut it off, he ordered. But it was too late. The night wind was no longer in control. Boarding the Endurance, Rel made a hard decision. We board it. Small team, we find out what happened. Then we leave. Sir, are you sure? Mara asked. We don't know what's inside. Rel looked at the screen. That's exactly why we go. He chose 4 of his best crew, Mara, Sergeant Kell, Tech Officer Yara, and Medic Trost. They suited up and launched a boarding pod as it connected to the side of the Endurance. The ship opened by itself. No one touched a thing. The hallway inside was dark, cold. Ice covered the walls. There were signs of battle bullet holes, scorched panels, but no bodies. Stay sharp, Rel whispered. They moved forward, lights sweeping over the shadows. They're not alone as they walked deeper. They heard something. Footsteps not from them. Mara spun around, gun raised. Something's moving. Then they saw it. A human figure stood at the end of the hallway, half in light, half in shadow. It was Captain Voss, but his face was wrong, stretched, twisted. His eyes glowed faintly. Red. Captain, Rel asked, voice shaking. Voss smiled. But it was not a human smile. Too late, he said. We're already inside you. Then he vanished. Rel turned to order a retreat, but the hallway behind them was gone, replaced by black metal walls. Covered in veins and pulsing light, the Endurance was alive, and it was closing in. Escape attempt run. Rel shouted. The team ran, but the hall shifted around them. Every turn led them back to where they started. Yara screamed. Something had grabbed her. A long, dark arm from the wall had wrapped around her leg. Kell fired, blasting the thing to pieces. But another arm reached out, and another. Rel pulled Yara free, but she was unconscious. Leave her, someone yelled. No, Rel barked. No one gets left behind. They forced their way through the pulsing corridors, dodging the black growths and whispering voices. Finally, they found the pod. It was open. They threw Yara in, and Rel turned around. Trost was gone. So was Kell. Only he and Mara made it back. Back on the Nightwind, pod returned. The crew helped pull them out. Rel gasped for air. His suit was torn. His hands trembled. Mara looked broken. She kept repeating, they're not dead. They're still walking. What happened? The engineer asked. Rel looked at him. With empty eyes? They're not human anymore, he said. The fleet is alive, but it's not ours. It belongs to something else now. Final message back on the bridge. Mara played the last recording they took from the Endurance. A voice, soft and haunting, played through the speakers. We are the fleet now. We see you. We remember you. Come join the rest. The message ended. The crew sat in silence. Some cried. Others prayed. Our The exploration ship Resolute Dawn dropped out of warp with a soft hum. Cold light from a dying red star bathed the ship as it entered. Sector D-17, exactly where Earth's fleet had vanished 1 year ago. Captain Alira Vale stood at the front. Observation deck, eyes locked on the dark space ahead. This is where the signal came from. She asked her science officer, Dr. Rami Cowrie, nodded. Yes, transmission originated here, but no signs of any fleet. No debris, no radiation trails, nothing. Alira folded her arms. That can't be. Something sent that message. Filled the ship as everyone waited. The comms officer Juno interrupted. Captain, I'm picking up something. It's faint. An object. Station-sized. 20,000 kilometers ahead. Bring it on screen, Alira said. A broken image flickered onto the main display. A massive human station, dark and drifting, floated in the shadows. Its surface was scarred. Parts were missing, ripped off. One rotating antenna still turned slowly. As if it hadn't gotten the message that everything else was dead. Alira's voice was low. That's the EHS Pilgrim, a relay and command station. It was with the fleet, but it was declared destroyed. Dr. Rami whispered. Juno stared. Then why is it still here? Touched. Boarding the station, Alira led a team onto the station using a docking tube, suits on. Weapons ready. As they moved through the cold, empty halls, lights flickered weakly. A single emergency light still pulsed red at the main control corridor. There were no bodies, no signs of a struggle. But the silence screamed. No power, Rami noted. Life support is barely active. Systems are frozen, logs corrupted. Alira nodded. Find the main log core. We need answers. Their footsteps echoed. Dust floated in the air. Someone had been Heror. Something in the medical. Bay Rami found a single chair turned toward a dark window. It faced the star outside. A human skeleton was strapped to the chair hands, still gripping the arms. He reached forward and stopped. Captain, he said, there's something carved into the wall behind it. Alira entered, her light shining over the words. It wasn't a fleet. It was a mouth. We were swallowed. Rami stepped back. This wasn't a normal battle. The voice returns back on the ship. The tech crew struggled to download the data logs. Suddenly, the speakers crackled to life. ... Help us. Help us. ... It took them. ... The stars. The stars aren't real. ... Double quotes, everyone froze. That voice again, Juno said. Same one from the first signal. It's coming from inside the station, Rami said, not from deep space. The voice is stored in the log core. Like an echo. Lyra clenched her jaw. Play the rest. The voice sobbed now, breaking, cracking, repeating. There. Still here? Behind the dark? They're still watching. They like us afraid. The message looped over and over. Then, Captain, someone shouted. Movement outside? The shadow ship cameras turned to the blackness beyond the station. First there was nothing. Then a shape moved. Slow, silent, like a shadow. Among stars, Alira's heart dropped. The shape wasn't a ship, not in any normal sense. It was wrong. Its form bent the light. It looked different every time you blinked, like it couldn't decide what shape to be. Long tendrils flowed behind it, trailing mist like blood and water. What is that? Juno whispered. Rami gasped. Ow. Sensors? Cameras see it, but our instruments show nothing. It's invisible. But also there. The shadow slid past the station, wrapping around it like a snake around prey. The power returned suddenly. The dead station lit up. Lights blazed. Engines roared. The whole place shook. Captain, the Pilgrim just activated main power, Juno screamed. Alira looked up, but we didn't turn it on. Inside the station, red lights flashed as systems booted one by one. The station's long-dead voice announced, Emergency Protocol Omega Black activated. Containment breached. Lockdown failed, releasing final warning. The message repeated, louder now. Do not come here. We're not gone. We are only hiding. Then something strange happened. From the side of the station, a massive cannon arm emerged and aimed at the shadow. No way, Rami muttered. It's going to fire. It did. The silent weapon A blue beam of light blasted from the station, hitting the shadow thing directly. But nothing happened. The beam passed through the creature as if it was made of dreams, and the shadow turned. For the first time, the crew felt it. Something looked back at them, not with eyes, not with logic, but with hunger. The shadow glided toward the resolute dawn. Evasive maneuvers, Lyra shouted. The ship twisted, engines flaring, but the shadow kept pace, gliding without sound, without light. Closer, closer, and then just as suddenly it stopped. The voice from the station whispered again. It's curious, not angry yet. Running back to light, Lyra didn't wait. Get us out of here. Full warp. Now. The ship jumped, warping away from Sector D-17, leaving the station behind, floating with its lights still glowing behind them. The shadow watched, waiting back at Earth. 2 days later, Lyra stood before Earth's Defense Council. There. Not dead, she said. The fleet. Something took them. Something not like us. It doesn't use ships. It doesn't make noise. It just is. The council was silent. One general stood. What? So why are you still alive? Lyra looked him in the eyes. Because it let us go. Ending scene far away, in Sector D-17, the station went dark again. The last log message, left running, echoed in empty space. This isn't war, it's harvest. And in the distance, the shadow moved toward the next light. Commander Halvix stood alone on the bridge of Searchlight 7, staring at the vast empty space ahead. The starless sector stretched like a black ocean, silent and endless. No signals, no light, no answers. He spoke quietly to his second officer, Lieutenant Asha, prepared the drone, sending it into the silent zone. The silent zone was where the human fleet had vanished. A year ago, they'd entered that space to chase a pirate signal. None returned. The Galactic Council had marked it as a dead sector, forbidden. But now, the broken human transmission had changed everything. They took us. ... It's not over, that was all it said. Glitching, echoing, and most terrifying, it came from here, the drone. Named Echo 9, launched smoothly. It carried sensors, cameras, and a live audio feed. Everyone aboard Searchlight 7 watched the screen in silence. For the first hour, nothing happened. Just black space, cold silence. Data showed no strange energy or ships. It's only emptiness. But then a faint noise crackled through the audio. A hiss, low at first, then louder, like breathing. Is that wind? Asha asked, confused. There's no wind in space, Halvix whispered. The drone's camera flickered. Then, suddenly, a flash appeared. Just for a second. A shape, human-shaped, floating in the dark. Pause feed. Go back, Halvix ordered. They rewound the recording. Frame by frame. There it was. A figure in a broken Earth Alliance suit, floating lifeless. And something inside the helmet dash moved. It wasn't a human anymore. The figure twitched. Then, the screen went black. Echo-9 stopped responding. Back on the ship, fear spread like fire. The crew gathered in the command center. I saw the face, Asha said. It wasn't dead, it was watching us. Could be a visual glitch, another officer suggested. No, Halvik said. That was a warning. He turned to the communication officer. Send the footage to the Galactic Council. Code red priority. The officer nodded and began the upload, but the signal jammed halfway. Commander, something's blocking the transmission, the officer said. Where? The answer came on its own. Every light in the ship dimmed for 2 seconds, then flickered back. Then, the ship's speakers turned on by themselves. A sound played, screaming, thousands of voices. Layered on top of each other, male, female, human, crying, yelling, begging. Then, A voice that chilled the crew to the bone. You left us. You forgot us. We remember. Emergency lockdown began. Halvix ordered weapons to stand by and internal sensors to scan for intruders. We're under electronic attack, he said. We need to leave this sector now. The pilot tried to power the engines. They didn't respond. They're frozen, he said. Every control is locked. I can't move us. Halvix stood frozen. Someone or something had full control. From the command panel, another signal began to play. It was video this time. Footage from the lost human fleet. Their final logs. The screen showed a human bridge, damaged, sparks flying, crew running, alarms blaring. A captain screamed into the camera. They're inside the systems. They know our minds. They see through our eyes. Then a strange screech. Cut through the transmission and the camera exploded. The feed ended. Silence again. But now, everyone knew something ancient was out there. Something waiting, and it had touched human minds before. Asha walked quickly to the observation deck. She needed air. She needed to think. But the stars outside looked wrong. They were twisted, like they were being pulled by something invisible. Space is warping, she whispered. Then her reflection in the glass moved. She didn't. Her eyes widened. She turned fast. Nothing was behind her. She looked back at the glass. Her reflection was gone, back on the bridge. Halvix made a decision. We're going to try the manual override. We'll blow the emergency thrusters. Force a jump out of this sector. But that'll destroy our navigation systems, the engineer warned. If we stay, we'll lose more than the ship, Halvix said. The crew prepared for the jump. 5 minutes to override. The ship trembled again. Lights dimmed, then another signal came in. A human face, bloody, crying. It stared into the camera and said, "They hollowed us out. We are ships now, floating, but awake." Then it screamed, danned, vanished. The ship's AI crashed. They were alone. Suddenly a PR. Commander Lysa stood on the bridge of the Nightwind, her jaw tight, eyes locked on the main screen. The ghost sector stretched out before them, cold, silent, and dark. No stars twinkled. No signals came through. Nothing but black. Behind her, the crew moved with quiet fear. "This is where the fleet vanished," Ensign Vale asked, voice low. "Yes," Lysa said, not turning. "And this is where we heard the screams." The ship crept deeper into the silent. Sector sensors were on full alert. Weapons armed, shields pulsing. But still, silence. Hours passed, no sound. No signal. No enemy. And yet the tension kept growing. The kind that made your skin crawl. The kind that whispered in your ear when no one else was around. In the science lab, Dr. Halen stared at a blinking screen. "Commander," he called through the comms, "you should come down here now." Lysa arrived moments later. Halen pointed at the waveform. "It's a signal. But not like before. It's buried deep. It's almost like it's hiding. Can you clean it?" "I'm trying." He tapped a few keys, and a distorted voice broke through. There in the dark, not dead. Changed. Everyone froze. Another voice followed. This one wasn't human. It clicked. Hissed then, clear words. "Why did you follow? Why come where the dead scream?" Halen's hands trembled. "This came from the black cloud ahead," he whispered. "Bridge. 20 minutes later. Visual," shouted the pilot. On the screen, a shape emerged from the dark. It was a wrecking Earth ship. The glory of Terra. But it shouldn't be here. That ship was lost with the fleet. "Lind forward. Get us closer." The night wind drifted toward the broken ship. Its hull was torn, like something had clawed through it. No power, no lights. Yet as they neared, strange energy readings lit. "Up the sensors," Commander Vale said slowly. "There's movement." Inside the wreck, everyone went still. "Is there life?" Lysa asked. "Yes," Vale whispered. "But it's wrong." Boarding the ghostly Sahalan and a team of 6 boarded the Glory of Terra. The air was cold, the walls stained. Lights flickered, somehow powered by something deep and unnatural. "This doesn't make sense," Halen muttered. "There's no reactor online yet. Something's feeding power." They walked down ruined corridors, doors bent. Blood smeared on bulkheads. Suddenly dash movement. Double quotes hold. Lysa raised her rifle. A shadow moved past the hallway. "Identify yourself," she shouted. No answer, only a soft whisper, "Help me." Medical bay, they found the source. A man, or what was left of him. His skin was pale, stretched. His eyes glowed faintly blue. He was strapped to a broken med table. Tubes hung from his arms. He looked at them and smiled. "You came," he whispered. "They didn't believe me." "Who did this?" Lysa asked. He shook. "They changed us. Made us better," they said. She asked again. He coughed. Blood spilled. They live. The silence. In the void between stars. They wait. They listen. They know you're here. Alarms back on the night wind. Alarms blared. The ship was surrounded. Not by ships, but by shapes. Moving. Floating. Dozens. Hundreds. They weren't made of metal. They were living things. Like shadows with teeth. With eyes that burned. They pulsed with the same energy that powered the dead ship. "Commander," Vale called. "They're not attacking." Lysa returned to the bridge, still shaken from the ghost survivor's words. "Then what are they doing?" she asked. Vale pointed at the screen. "They're watching us." Sudden power loss. All lights on the night wind died. Engines went cold. Weapons offline. COMM's dead. Only the emergency lights flickered red. "Backup systems?" Lysa ordered. "No response," the engineer said. "They didn't shut us down, they took us." Outside, the shadows crept closer. Then they began to scream. Not through air, but through minds. Every crew member dropped to their knees, clutching their heads. Lysa screamed, two images flashing in her mind. Burning stars, broken planets, Earth's fleet. Twisted, broken, floating in black dot, and those things feeding the truth in the medical bay. Halen held the half-dead survivor's hand. "What are they?" The man smiled again. "Not gods, not demons. They were the first, the ones who watched the stars be born, and now they're hungry again. Why us? Because we screamed loudest when we died." Desperation Lees crawled back to the command chair. "Find a way to fire something, anything." She gasped. "Nothing works," Vale cried. "It's like they are the ship now." Then one screen blinked on. It showed Earth live feed, and a voice echoed through the bridge. "More are coming. They will hear. They will feed." Then the image changed. Earth. Already covered in shadow, the invasion had begun. The alien ship Morelli's floated in deep space, surrounded by darkness. Its scanners picked up nothing. No stars, no signals, just the cold silence of the void inside. Captain Varno stood frozen, staring at the replay of the human transmission again. "They took us." Not over. Screaming. The voice echoed in the control room. Every time it played, The air felt colder. The lights flickered, though the system showed no problem. His science officer, Krell whispered. That voice came from the center of the dead zone. The same place the human fleet vanished, Varnos said, clenching his jaw. Krell nodded. We should not be here, Varnos disagreed. We must learn what happened. Something took Earth's fleet, it could take ours next. Suddenly, an alarm beeped, soft tone, yet it brought fear. Energy spikes? Sector 5? Said Krell. It's faint, but it's moving. On screen, Varnos ordered. The main display showed a black void. Then, a small flicker of light. It moved like a ripple, but nothing should move in deep space like that. It's like space itself is bending, Krell said. No ship? Varnos asked. No heat, no signature. But it's coming closer. The crew of Morales felt something they hadn't felt in years. Dread. Suddenly, the lights dimmed. The hum of the engines dropped an octave system. Drain, yelled Krell. Something is pulling power from the ship. Defensive shields up. Varnos barked. Before Krell could respond, the scream came. It echoed through every speaker on the ship, a human voice, but this time it wasn't a warning. It was pain. They're inside. They see us. You can't hide. The entire crew froze. Then the ship jolted. Not an attack, not a missile. Something had touched the Morels. From outside? No impact detected? Shouted the pilot. Then what was that? Varnos demanded. They looked at the screen again. The ripple was gone, but something else was there now. It's just outside the ship. A shape, no form, no lights, just shadow. A shadow darker than space. It slid across the hull. The metal groaned. Inside. The ship. The lights flickered rapidly. Crew's comms sparked with static hand words. But no one was transmitting. ... Let us in. ... You heard the scream. ... We were human once. Varnos drew his blaster. So did the others. Loud bang echoed through the ship. They turned to the door. Claw marks appeared on the metal claw marks. Inside the ship. Seal all sections, Varnos yelled. We're under psychic attack. But it wasn't just psychic. It was something more. Something ancient. Something hungry. Krell ran to the console. This is a memory echo. The humans, they became something else. Varnos frowned. Became, what do you mean? They merged with the void. With something in it? They were taken, yes. But they changed. The cum crackled again. We are the fleet. We remember pain, remember fear. Now you will too. Another scream, louder, deeper, this time one of. The crew fell to the floor, blood pouring from his ears. No wound, yelled the medic. His mind, his brain was. Crushed from inside, Krell trembled. The humans, they didn't die in battle. They evolved into something else. Live in the dark. They feed on fear. Varnos whispered. That's why Earth never searched for them. They knew, said Krell. They knew what came back. Just then, the lights on the bridge died. Total darkness. Only the hum of failing machines and soft breathing and the sound of footsteps. But no one was moving. The scream came again. A mix of voices, men, women, children, all human once. Now something. Else run, whispered the shadows. Hide, but we'll find you. Suddenly emergency power kicked in. Red lights flickered to life. Varnos turned, half his crew was gone. No blood, no sound, just gone. The doors opened slowly. Without command, beyond them darkness. In a whispering wind, Varnos knew what he had to do. He grabbed a memory core and shouted, Krell, send this to the council. Let them know what we saw. Krell nodded, tears in his eyes. They won't believe it. Then send the scream too, Varnos growled. Let them hear it. As Krell sent the data through an emergency probe, Varnos turned to face the dark hallway. He stepped forward, gun raised, alone. But not for long, because the whispering was getting louder, and the screaming had just begun again. Meanwhile, far from the Morales, now the Galactic Council received the probe. They watched the footage, heard the scream, and for the first time in decades, They were afraid. "What is this?" asked one elder. Krell's message played. "They took Earth's fleet and changed them. Now they come for us. We are not ready. The darkness remembers." The room went silent. The shadows behind them seemed to move, and somewhere in deep space, another voice whispered, "We are coming." In the dark heart of the null sector, where even light seemed afraid to travel, the silence was broken. Captain Nara's fleet floated in formation above the strange planet. What was once marked as uninhabitable on every galactic map, now it pulsed with energy. Nara stood on the bridge of the horizon's edge, her eyes fixed on the hologram. The surface of the planet was moving, slowly, like a giant creature breathing beneath layers of rock and fire. "Report," she ordered. "Lieutenant." Bryn's face was pale. "Ma'am, the surface is not solid. It's growing. Growing." Nara turned toward him sharply. "Yes, and there's more." That signal we traced. The voice saying they took us. It's being rebroadcast from the planet. "Now, but it's changing." Nara narrowed her eyes. "Changing how?" "It's learning. Speaking new words, names, human names." Nara's blood ran cold below them. The strange planet opened, literally split apart. A massive black tower slowly rose from its core, covered in glowing red veins. The scream that followed shook every ship in the fleet. It wasn't a sound from speakers, it was in their heads. Thousands of crew members across the fleet dropped to their knees, holding their skulls, screaming with it. Some laughed. Some started whispering in strange tongues. Nara yelled over the noise, "Shut down all. Open comes. Isolate the bridge." The crew moved fast, sealing all connections. Slowly, the screams faded, but many aboard remained shaken, eyes glassy, hands trembling in the medical bay. Dr. Lena worked on a technician who had collapsed. She waved a scanner over his head. His brain activity was off the charts, far too active, too chaotic. "Captain," she radioed in, "they're not just hearing the screams. They're being rewritten." Nara's voice came back tense. "Rewritten?"
Ow.
"The signals are affecting their neural patterns. Human minds are fighting it. But barely. Is it a weapon? I think it's worse. I think it's an invitation." "Back on the bridge," Bryn shouted. "Something's coming out of the tower." Everyone looked. A single object rose from the tower's tip. It was not a ship. It was a shape of shadow, moving like smoke and liquid metal, forming and unforming. The sensors couldn't scan it, but it was coming straight for them. Nara whispered, "All ships, weapons ready." As they watched, the shape began to split. Not once, but many times multiplying. "Captain," said Bryn slowly, "they look like ships." They did. Hundreds of them now. Black, shifting alien ships. But with human outlines, each bore markings from Earth's lost fleet. Aboard the Midnight Warden, led of the fleet ships, the crew stared at the incoming swarm. First Officer Tyrion muttered, "That's impossible. Those are human designs." No one inside those ships responded. No communication, no life signs, only movement cold. Perfect movement. Suddenly, the alien human ships opened fire. The energy beams weren't just plasma. They warped space itself, causing whole decks to twist, bend, and snap inside the horizon's edge. "Evasive maneuvers," Nara screamed. "Fire at will." The battle began, and Earth's new fleet, twisted, silent, screaming, ripped through them like paper in space. The battle looked like a nightmare. Ships exploded without warning. Some were simply erased, cut from space, by weapons no one understood. Inside the alien fleet, the ships didn't need pilots. They moved like thoughts. They anticipated attacks before they happened. Every time a human ship fired, the enemy already wasn't there. "They're inside our systems," Bryn yelled. "Our targeting is compromised. Switch to manual." "No AI. All human control," Nara barked. The battle turned more brutal. Pilots tried their best, but the enemy didn't feel fear, didn't make mistakes, and every time one was destroyed, another appeared endless, multiplying. Back in the medbay, one of the unconscious crew woke up screaming. Grabbed Dr. Lena's arm. "They know we're here," he cried. "They remember. They remember us." His eyes were glowing faint red. She sedated him instantly. But his words echoed in her mind. Aboard the Horizon's Edge, Nara looked at the battle reports. They had lost 7 ships in 10 minutes. Her fleet was collapsing. And then the voice returned over every speaker, every screen, even inside their helmets. It was the same voice from the old message, "They took us," but now it added more. "We took them." The bridge turned silent. Bryn whispered, "What does that mean?" Nara answered grimly, "It means the fleet didn't die. They returned, merged, whatever these things are. They used our people." Bryn stared at the screen. "Then the real question is, how do we fight ourselves?" The room fell silent. In the void, the black ships surrounded the remaining human vessels. But they didn't fire. Instead, they stopped. Everything froze. Even the stars seemed to pause. And then, new shape appeared. Massive. A shape none of their maps could name. Larger than any human or alien warship ever built. It was not a ship. It was a grave. A floating fortress made of the wreckage of Earth's missing fleet. Welded together by something else, something alive, and from its side, a portal opened, not a hatch. A tear dot inside, darkness, and a sound. A soft whisper calling their names. Captain Bryn said, trembling, "I think it wants us to come in." Nara stared at the portal, and for the first time in her life, she didn't know what to do. The station lights dimmed. Captain Alira stood frozen at her console, her eyes locked on the screen. The human fleet, those who were believed dead, those who were screaming, were now near the borders of Galactic Council space. No one expected this. Not this close. Not after all that had happened. An emergency beacon lit up. Not from a ship, but from deep space, in the void between stars. The message was short. 5 chilling words. They are not just coming. They are already here. Panic spread across the station. Technicians screamed, trying to reroute defense grids, but systems kept crashing. Something was inside the network. Illyra grabbed the command console and shouted, "Shut down the main link." Now too late. The station screens all turned black, then flashed with static. A human face appeared, but the eyes were gone. Hollow, empty sockets stared at them. Blood smeared the skin. It whispered. We screamed for help. No one came. "Oh, you'll hear us forever." The voice echoed across the room. Some fainted. Others clawed at their ears. Something about the voice, something beyond human, broke into the mind and stayed there. Scratching, Lyra hit the override button, but the system refused to obey. All around the galaxy, other stations reported the same thing. Static, screams, broken voices. Everywhere, once, the human fleet had returned, but it wasn't human anymore. It had become something else. At the edge of the galactic core, a massive Council warship drifted through space. The Council's most powerful dreadnought, the Varix, had been sent to face the threat. Millions of lives on board. Weapons from 100 worlds. General Carr stood on the bridge, watching the darkness beyond the viewport. "Report," he barked. "Still nothing, sir," the commander said. "No life signs, just ... silence." Then the stars blinked, not from movement, but from something blocking them. A shape. Huge. Wrong. The ship's sensors failed to identify it. It wasn't metal. It wasn't alive. But it was there. Suddenly. The lights dimmed. Every console died, and in the center of the command bridge, a shadow formed. A human shape, but stretched, twisted. Its mouth was open, but it didn't speak. It screamed, a deep, horrible, endless scream that broke glass and minds. Carr fell to his knees, holding his head. Behind the shape more figures appeared. Humans. Or once humans. Their faces melted. Bodies broken. But they floated in space like they belonged there. The human fleet was back, silent, screaming, and full of pain. And they were not alone. Earth's last hope on a hidden moon near Earth's edge. Dr. Mia Hale looked at the last backup of the AI logs from the fleet. Something had survived. A file called Project Memory. She opened it. Inside was a single recording Commander Rourke from the fleet speaking with blood on his lips. If this message plays, we failed. But they lied. The void. ... It's not empty. It feeds. It learns. We're not dying. We're being remade. If you want to survive, don't fight. Run. The message ended. Mia stared at the dark screen. She whispered to herself, they didn't just vanish. They became something the stars weren't ready for. Behind her, the shadows moved. 1 week later, galactic communication fell silent. The stars dimmed. Entire systems stopped responding. Some say they heard screams from black holes. Others say their dreams were filled with whispers of pain. But those who survived said only one thing. The human fleet came back. But they didn't come home. The council fell. Worlds turned quiet in the silence. New signals were found, hundreds of them. Each one, the same message. A soft, broken human voice. We screamed. Now it's your turn.